Hey, how's it going, guys? So my name is Alan from Dream Big Live Tiny, and today I'm going to be walking you through this amazing property of tiny houses just outside of Zion National Park in Utah. So given everything that's going on right now with the COVID-19 pandemic, with a lot of international borders being closed, a lot of flights being canceled, we decided to take a short road trip to visit some of the national parks in Colorado and Utah in a very socially distanced way, of course, wearing our masks and avoiding any sort of contact with people as much as we can. Luckily, a lot of the national parks are increasing their measures to basically be able to distance people on the trails and not allow as many people as they usually do into the park. Only the trails that allow for you to socially distance while you're hiking are currently open. A lot of trails that have narrow passageways have been completely closed off in all of the parks. Some parks have even been closed entirely, but the parks that are open are doing a lot to really make sure that people are able to come out here and still enjoy, being out in nature without really putting yourself much at risk. And of course, some of the places we're staying at, we've been able to book an entire place like some of the tiny houses you see behind us and really be able to socially distance ourselves from other people. So currently we are in Verkin, Utah, which is this tiny town about 30 minutes west of the south entrance of Zion National Park. So Zion National Park is part of the Mighty Five here in Utah. These amazing national parks that I think everyone should absolutely visit at some point in their life. I've read a lot about the parks here and seen plenty of pictures, enough to make me want to come out here. And to be honest, I did not spend enough time here, and there's so much to see. I really think you need about 2 to 3 days per national park to really make sure that you hit all the amazing spots, all the amazing hikes, and all the incredible viewpoints there are to see in all of the parks. So today we're staying in one of these amazing tiny houses you see behind me. So this is the Dwellings Co. So the Dwellings is a property of about just over 12 tiny house rentals here in Utah. So from their 12 tiny houses, 8 of them are actually 300 square foot foundation homes. That's basically just an open floor plan with a sleeping area, a full living room with a full-size couch, a kitchen with all the appliances you would need for a full-time stay, and a bathroom. So basically everything you would need in an enclosed tiny house, 300 square feet. The other 4 homes are on the larger side, so they're closer to 800 square feet, and they are 2 bedrooms, 1 bath properties. So we got to stay in both kinds of houses on the property. So the first night we got to stay in the 300 square foot tiny house, and the second night we got to stay in the 800 square foot small house. So I'm going to be able to give you a quick tour of each type of property and show you around. So the 300 square foot tiny houses are amazing. So they have 2 different orientations. Some of them are oriented in a vertical manner, much more like what you're used to seeing in tiny houses on wheels. And the second one is sort of a side view orientation, which gives you a wider view of these amazing mountains in the background. So walking into the vertical orientation tiny house, you have that kitchen on your left-hand side with apartment-sized appliances. They have an apartment-sized fridge. They have tons of countertop space to prepare meals, a huge sink, a microwave, and a coffee machine. So basically everything you need to prepare meals for a weekend stay or even a week-long stay here in Utah. On the right-hand side, on the other side of the kitchen, is the full-size bathroom. So they have a flush toilet, a huge vanity and sink, and a beautiful tile shower. So definitely a very comfortable bathroom. It's a good size. It's not as small as what you would expect in a tiny house. So plenty of room to wash up and, after a long day of hiking and whatnot. On the other side of the house, towards the view, there is the bedroom space. So it's not partitioned into a full-size bedroom. It's more of an open floor plan, so with the sleeping space and the living room all together. And so in this vertical orientation tiny house, there also is a desk for 2 with amazing views facing outward. Again, all the properties have this outdoor area that you see right here. So you open up the sliding door and here you're presented with this amazing view of the mountains. And there's even these little cocktail kind of tables that they have set up where, it's not necessarily large enough to enjoy a full-size meal, but you could definitely bring your cup of coffee out here and enjoy the view, or even at night with a cocktail or a beer is a perfect place to wind down after a long day. Now, with these side view tiny houses, it's the exact same amount of space. So it's also 300 square feet. Like I said, it's just oriented in a side horizontal manner so that you get a little bit more of a view of the mountains. Same exact footprint. So when you walk in, the kitchen is actually directly in front of you. So it's an L-shaped kitchen with the same size appliances. There's an apartment size fridge, there's the sink, microwave, coffee machine, and plenty of storage for anything you're gonna bring in for your stay. On your right-hand side, there is the living space with the same full-size couch, a bed, and TV, of course, as well. On the other side of the house, there is the full-size bathroom, same exact orientation, the tile shower, the flushing toilet, the vanity. So same exact footprint, just in a different orientation. Now, this side view tiny house doesn't have the desk or table for two, but of course there's still plenty of outdoor space to come and enjoy a meal or come and enjoy your coffee outside. So because these tiny houses are set up as short-term rentals, not tiny houses that you would actually be able to live in full-time, the only thing that is really missing for you to be able to live full-time here, I would say, is a lot of storage space. So that's one thing that I realized from these tiny houses. There's not a lot of built-in storage. That's one thing that could definitely be included if you wanted to consider something like this for full-time living. So foundation houses are something that I'm really pushing more towards for the movement, because I really think that we can combat a lot of the zoning regulations and issues that a lot of people have with tiny houses on wheels to be able to build these foundation homes as accessory dwelling units in people's backyards. So being able to take something of this size, of this footprint, and build it, permit it into your backyard, I think is probably the best, most seamless way to integrate tiny houses into, cities and into our everyday lives, be able to see them a lot more than we do now. So moving on to the larger homes are what the dwellings call the stackers. So the stacker is an 800 square foot small house, not exactly a tiny house because it's over 500 square feet, but it still has a very small footprint. Honestly feels still like a very small space in comparison to what most of you are probably used to living in your traditional size homes. So again, the stacker is an 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, and includes everything you would need for, a weekend stay or a week-long stay. When you walk into the stacker house, there is a bedroom to your right. Again, so this is a private bedroom on the ground floor with a sliding barn door. There's a full-size bed in there, a TV in there, and a small closet, so perfect for your stay. Directly across from the entrance is the full-size bathroom. So these bathrooms are about the same size, same footprint as the ones you'll find in the tiny houses, the 300 square foot units. So again, there's a full-size vanity with a sink, a flushing toilet, and a tile shower. Directly on the other side of the tiny house, you keep walking through the hallway, you're gonna see the beautiful full-size kitchen. So this kitchen is located on the right side, and it has this small built-in sort of island, if you will. There's everything you would need. There's an apartment-sized fridge, there's a 2-burner cooktop, a microwave, a coffee machine, plenty of storage, all the utensils, all the cookingware that you'll need. The only sort of thing that I noticed in the kitchen that I would change is I would actually move the kitchen island a little further towards the living room, because I felt like there wasn't enough space for 2 people to comfortably walk around that kitchen area without bumping into each other, without having to move out of the way. So if someone's cooking, there's not really enough space for someone to be either washing their hands, doing the dishes, or doing much prep work inside of the kitchen. You'll probably have to, move one person to the other side where the stools are. Then it's really comfortable. Other than that, I love the kitchen, love the simplicity of it and everything that's included. Past the kitchen, or across the kitchen I should say, is the living room. So again, the same full-size couch that you'll find in all the other units. This beautiful leather couch. There's enough space for 3 people to sit comfortably on there, though you could probably squeeze 4. Then the last part of the stacker house are the set of stairs that lead you up to the loft bedroom. Now the loft bedroom is not a private bedroom, there's not a door, but it is a dedicated sleeping space for 4 more people with 2 bunk beds up there. Now again, all these houses have a beautiful outdoor living space. So you open up the double sliding doors, open up to the amazing outdoor space. There's 2 chairs and 2 stools to enjoy your coffee or a meal outside. So I really think the biggest selling point of the dwellings tiny houses is this amazing view of the mountains in the background and of Confluence Park, which is this 344-acre park that is restricted to any sort of development in the surrounding areas and inside the park. So it really conserves the view for, you know, people coming here. There shouldn't be any sort of additional development to block the view or anything like that. There's even a hiking trail down there to a creek. It's a beautiful place, you know, for you to enjoy your coffee, enjoy the views. And if you're feeling up for it or still have some energy after visiting Zion National Park, you can go and hike I think it's about a 3-mile loop trail down into this mini canyon, if you will, and there's a creek down there. So that's pretty much it. This is the Dwellings Co. property. If you want more information, I'm gonna leave the website down below, as well as links to the Airbnb listings for the properties that we stayed at. The Stacker, which is the 800 square foot small home, and the side view, the tiny houses that are 300 square foot. There's about 8 of them. So if you're interested in renting them out, definitely check out the Airbnb links below. So there's still quite a bit of availability right now and in the coming weeks to stay at the Dwellings. So definitely check that out and make sure that, you know, if you're gonna be traveling during this time, to make sure that you're able to actually drive here. We definitely don't want people flying around the country, cross country, with everything going on right now. If you decide to travel, if you decide to take that risk, that you're taking care of yourself and taking the necessary precautions to ensure that you're keeping yourself, your family safe, as well as everyone around you. So that's basically it. That's a tour of the Dwellings Co. tiny houses. And in addition, if you want a discount on your first stay through Airbnb, be sure to click my referral link below in the description. That'll get you $40 to $50 off your first stay. Hopefully I'll be shooting more tours in the coming weeks. It'll be more local tours, probably in the Austin, in San Antonio, Waco, Dallas area, to ensure that I'm actually being able to socially distance myself from people and be able to actually do this in a safe manner. So stay tuned for some more tours in the coming weeks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.